what Leyan goes towards in that jungle pick to, again, stop Tian getting into the game quite as handily as he has done against previous opponents.
And already we get somewhat of an answer to the question I brought up of how are RA approaching this game, right? They've played Varus 4 times and Zeri once so far, but right off of the bat, they're locking in Lucian, Nami. They want to bring some pressure to this bottom lane. JackeyLove currently hovering the Draven,
which is actually an
I've
okay
seen him
Lucian
lock
Nami
into
answer.
a Lucian before. I wouldn't be too surprised.
We've seen that with something like the Draven, and you can pick Draven Lulu or something else that can just contest the bot lane. And already for me, this is making me very worried for Rare Atom.
I mean,
we're in the 2% zone. Maybe they can step up, but
yeah, the 2% zone is here, but it's JackeyLove Draven. What a treat we are going to have in front of us right here. This is like the filet mignon of the champion select. I don't even know if filet mignon's that posh. I can't eat beef. I'm allergic to beef. I don't know why I picked steak to try and exemplify this.
Wow, the stakes are so high, you've got allergies to them as well. Because Rare Atom, they are buying into the chaos a little bit. We know that JackeyLove has this incredibly historic pick of this Draven. It's the Nautilus. It's level 1. It's level 2 fighting, which for me is against what Rare Atom really want to play towards. They want to make sure they're chilling a little bit so they can fight later into the game. They can stall out. They can get to this point where they can find these great initiations. And it feels like Strive is buying into that a little bit too, with the Sylas being a much more early fighting pick. I think because of that, they're banning out some more priority picks, and that is it. I wouldn't be surprised seeing something like Rookie's Akali taken off the table as well, because we haven't mentioned him in this draft yet. You can't exactly give Rookie his choice picks. We know what he does with them.
Yeah, so the problem is, you're correct, you can't give Rookie a pick that he's comfortable on. The only issue you're going to find is that he's comfortable on pretty much every champion in the game. So yes, the Azir, he is exceptional on. The Orianna is another one, like kind of a similar boat house to Azir that he's exceptional on. But the Syndra, another one. And you can literally just name every champion and he's still really comfortable.
Yeah, if Rare Atom are in the, if they're in the 2% zone, Rookie is the 98%, which is the rest of the champions on the roster. And even at this point, right, you've got this Sylas locked in. Yes, I know there's a chance of flexing it between jungle and mid. It's not really been the case worldwide so far, though, which means that you're getting a lot of your other choice picks removed away. We all talked about Cube's Jax, his Gwen's now been removed. You talk about Leyan's Vi, his Wukong's also been removed, which is another great initiator, another great ability to fight early. I feel like your two most important members in previous series have been deprived of a lot of their tools. I think this is now putting the onus on Strive, Sssum, and Southwind to be much more important in these compositions.
Renekton going to be locked in here for Cube, so a reasonably strong blind, right? We see it all the time here in the LPL, but Ksante, he's made it through the bans for the first time today. And, I mean, is there a matchup that you don't want to pick Ksante in? I'm not sure if there is. He just feels insanely strong currently, and we've seen him doing a number on many Renektons so far, but now Rookie has to lock in. He's up against this Sylas. Current hover being the Akali, but there's plenty of options available.
We called this one in particular just because if you're looking to fight early, feels like Akali can both win trades against the Sylas early and then just out-skirmish him as well. Yes, you give that Akali all over, but just don't believe that every player playing the Sylas is going to be Zeka that wins this matchup. You're facing Rookie's Akali. You faced the Apprentice in that last series you played. You played against Dream and you sent him 0-9. Now you are up against the master himself, Rookie, on the Akali. One of the greatest of the Akali players ever since that rework in Season 8. Rookie took that to heights no one had seen before. He is up against Strive on the Sylas. It is an interactive matchup. The matchup itself on paper is one which can go either way, but you've got to be afraid for Rare Atom coming out of this draft.
Well, you say that. I do think, though, on the side of Rare Atom, they've got some nice combos, right? The Lucian army obviously can be very, very strong on the bottom side. Granted, they're against the Draven. We'll see how that's going to go. But also, Renekton Nidalee, they're going old school. Leyan is, I literally mentioned it earlier, he's a Nidalee aficionado. This guy is an absolute demon on the Nidalee, and Cube is right there to set him up. You've also got this airy combo as well of the Nautilus Maokai, where you've got Nautilus depth charge that everyone wants to separate. You do not want to be grouped when that's flying towards you.
The clump of the separation.
Roots,
what do you do?
Which makes you all want to group up together. So if they're both coming at the same time, that's a lot of CC. That's a lot to panic about.
That's the instructions on a clear 5-man ult landed. That's what it leads into.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see as The crowd all out in force. We've seen a lot of signs for the top esports players. Not so many on the side of RA. In fact, I think that RA signs that sign saying that they're going to 2-0 RA. We'll see if that's going to be the case though, because RA have been surprising everyone so far, and Leyan has that signature pick in his Nidalee. We'll see if he can take over the game. But Draven coming out as another signature pick, this one for JackeyLove. And Marcon, kind of a signature pick in that literally every support only played Nautilus that year. So I arguably, I guess.
Well, he was one of the biggest supports during that year, so you can definitely call it out as, even though it was a flavor of the season, flavor of the player as well. What that means is that you have a lot of comfort on the side of top esports' bot lane. Reratum, we've talked about them being stable through the TV2. They're going to have to deal with quelling this animosity which might come towards them. This volatility. You can see the observer, they're hanging around here. The level 1, it looks for the hook.
The hook lands. Sssum getting chunked out. Southwind as well, taking some damage to the ignite onto Sssum.
They haven't damaged the Draven.
He's stomping right now. He's just annihilating them. And I mean, your Lucian Nami with no HP, at least they'll have some sustain, but I mean, Southwind's only got so much mana.
Only got so much mana, and JackeyLove gets up to the full lethal tempo in a level 1 trade. That is disastrous for this 2v2. This is not how this is meant to be going. You're meant to be taking a bit of a step back, because each hook that lands now, you're assuming leads to a death. The pots have been blown through, you got cookies on both sides, you got a little bit of regen ticking, but it does mean the top esports controlling that bot side. Tian kind of going towards that side too, and Leyan being called down there on command as well. You can't necessarily go towards this Renekton combo, go towards the Sylas, because everyone now has eyes on bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough. Leyan, theoretically, could have a good opportunity to gank this bottom side, right? He is on the bottom side. JackeyLove and Mark are fairly extended, but the problem is, can his bottom lane actually join in on that play, or will he just get CC'd and taken out himself as Mark finds the engage? They're sacrificing a cannon to try and make this play. No, JackeyLove gets the cannon. Turns it around. Mark just takes a chunk, basically, is all that happens.
Leyan on Gromp, maybe looking to find an angle in here, but there's not a great amount of CC. Clears out the vision, holds into account, but Nidalee is squishy. Nidalee is not necessarily someone that wants to jump into a hook themselves. And Tian is just around the corner. It's a 3v3 on the bot side, and every eye has to be here. It's such a walking bot lane confrontation. It's not like Leyan has found too much for this.
JackeyLove not even giving Leyan the time of day there. Like, just casually dodging the spears, not even a whisper of moving away towards his tower. He's like, bring it on, Leyan. There's no way you're making a play on this bottom side. Sssum already 10 CS down at this point. We're only 4 minutes in.
Yep. And this is the real danger of giving a Draven access to the minion wave and the hook through the minions.
Southwind's in trouble, and Tian is behind enemy lines right here, but JackeyLove getting chunked out by Sssum this time around. Mana low on both players from the RA bottom lane, as another wave will be crashed here in just a second.
A heal blown from the Reratum bot lane. Again, they've been asking for stability. They've been looking for stability from their previous draft. They've just about held on to their lives. They've not held on to wave push. They haven't held on to a CS lead. They're starting to bleed out through that 2v2. And this is now dangerous. What I want to look for in the next few minutes is what Mark can do in terms of his decision making. Maybe we're going to get to the point where actually the Nautilus could roam elsewhere on the map. Combo up with that Maokai that you called up earlier. We've got a Herald to think about later into the game as well. If Mark and JackeyLove have control over that bot lane, that potentially swings how you approach that. This early laning phase has implications we have to track in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, whether or not trying to play up for Cube will essentially sacrifice Sssum and Southwind, because I'm not sure they will survive if JackeyLove tries to go for that. He's already got a serrated Dirk. Like, this is a monstrous Draven, and the lane has only just begun. I'm real scared if I'm an RA fan at home right now. But the mid laner's yet to get involved. Recall coming out from Rookie has that teleport available, as Strive has just re-entered that mid lane as well. Level 6s have been hit, so perhaps an opportunity for some roams.
Has that option. Leyan once again on call towards his bot side. Asien driving beyond the wave, finally managed to take away some HP. Force JackeyLove away from the minions. If you can get Draven to drop axes, not continually keep life stealing off the wave. Of course, hasn't built the early Vamp Scepter, but he'll have a little bit in runes as that ticks up over time. Just keeping Draven off the wave is very, very important. That's exactly why both junglers are here again. Mark had the option to go elsewhere, but decides, actually, you know, the most important thing we can do is keep this chokehold in bot lane up until a bigger opportunity on the map presents itself.
Yeah, I mean, Drake has just spawned as well, so if you do find a pick on the bottom side, that could lead to the first neutral objective. But Sssum actually doing a really good job of weaving some damage in. Now that the Lucian army have their abilities, it becomes a much stronger duo to be able to contest.
It really does just feel that after that level 1, all of these resources have to continue going down here. What this has meant, though, is that Sssum and Southwind, they haven't died. They managed to even out some of the CS. They're going to be behind, but they're not dead. They're not giving early stacks over to the Draven as much as it gets more valuable as the game goes on. It's not like this is blown out into anything. But drawing this back, all it takes is that one moment, and then things start falling apart. Raritan in the past, in the previous series, have done very well at recovering from some mistakes, from holding on to the point where they can find great initiations, great engages. But against top esports, you have to feel it's another step up in waiting for that hammer blow to fall, and how you respond to that, how you can soften the blow and survive to a point where you can fight back.
And so far, I think RA have done a very good job of reacting, right? Where the CS lead in that bottom side has pretty much evened up. Leyan managing to get the first Drake of the game, basically saying, look, I'm going to babysit this bottom lane until Lucian Nami starts to exist as a duo, basically, so that JackeyLove and Mark can't just take over. The top side, Cube is just winning in CS in the 1v1. Like, across the board, actually, everything's going pretty well, despite appearances in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think the eye candy very much went towards JackeyLove and Mark in that bot side, camera hanging over there an awful lot, but as we said, it hasn't led to that game-breaking advantage. So top esports, actually a little more to be done for them in terms of their composition. We are expecting them to maybe have a Herald angle, play around their first ultimates, play around that first Maokai ultimate of games, see if they can get Rookie into the thick of things, but where Adam as it stands, they're fairly happy with how they played around things.
I just noticed a really cute combo, Leyan, when he throws a spear at the Krugs. The little frog jumps first, and then he jumps over. Yeah. It's very adorable. Leyan getting invaded on by Rookie and Tian. Not as adorable for him, but looks like Tian just going to start this Herald off, clearing the vision first. Rookie happily able to dodge that spear. Does have his shroud and everything, so shouldn't be under too much threat. But it will be a contest here from RA. They're not willing to give the Herald up for free. QingTian could be in trouble here. It's going to be the ultimate used by Cube fairly early. JackeyLove looking for an all-in on Southwind, but they're focusing the support. JackeyLove forced to flash away, and Sssum full HP. Mark trying to 2v1 them to save his AD carry. Sssum with the flash W finds the first blood. Mark and JackeyLove sent packing. And in the meantime, over the top side, it's top esports finding the advantage as they find a double kill for Rookie.
It's a 2 for 2 across the map, but the Herald fight goes over the top esports. It's a feel-good moment. It is an important moment in the 2v2. You remove some stacks, you get that Draven down, you get a kill onto your Lucian. Sssum and Southwind surviving the early pressure. We praise them for that. But as the game goes forward, you now need to be aware that the Herald could be just flying into your lane to undo the work which you've done around that bot side. Top esports, as much as JackeyLove falls behind, they still have the ability to make the next power play on the map.
Certainly possible for them. Both junglers. Okay, Herald's not up. Back to the bottom lane we go. Everybody piling on in. Here's tidal wave. JackeyLove bubbled up.
Oh,
spear taken down. RA with a masterclass. We're in the 2% zone, baby.
In the 2%, and that lack of CC in the bot lane, you expect it to be point and click from your Renekton, diving forwards from the Sylas. Actually, it's the tidal wave which is the difference maker in that last 2v2. You have to look what happens before this point. For me, the big difference is one of the great sins of 2v2s in bot lane. Focusing the support over focusing the AD carry. You get damage onto the Nami, all well and good, but it's not onto the Lucian who gets to dive forward. And then on the top side, Tian does an awesome job of using the most of their ultimate, getting out of that CC chain and getting huge value from that Maokai. We called it out before that even started. Watch out for that Maokai ult. That is the real difference maker for top esports on the top side of the map where they do find their advantage.
Yeah, and then RA making a pretty significant mistake of believing that 2 champions is better than 1 when the 1 is Ksante. As they just get absolutely demolished in the pit there by QingTian. Great little skirmish from him, but overall it's RA finding the advantage. 1,000 up right now, and the thing that we've complimented RA for in the previous games is their macro, their mid game has been pretty clean. They've been able to hold on to leads and slowly but surely eke out a win. They found that lead, and now it's a question of, you know, holding on to that and building it more.
So, things to watch out for. Of course, Herald, it's actually in the inventory of QingTian, so it's not going to be Tian able to roam down towards that bot side, look for a big play with the next Maokai ult and snowball this Draven. That Ksante putting that one down, that changes things a little bit. However, Top Esports, and other good news, they do have the Akali with 2 kills. The Apprentice of Dream sent 0 and 9, not going to be replicated for the Master of Rookie. Turn on that Akali, so dangerous. But what can the RA do to fight against that? You're looking at a first item spike from Sssum on that Lucian. Wait for that Imperial Mandate to come through as well. And maybe that Lucian Nami, who's done well to survive, to thrive, in fact, can start turning the tables in Rare Atom's favor at that point. So Herald, top side of the map, solo laners from Top Esports, bot lane item spikes from Rare Atom are the next things to track.
And Leyan back in the bottom lane once more. Not too surprising. The thing that's impressive to me is the fact that they actually have very good CS in the jungle. Leyan still on 90 CS at 12 minutes. It's not too shabby for a jungler. And yet he spent the entire game shadowing the bottom lane. I don't know how he's pulled it off, but he has. A TP into the bottom side from Strive. RA want to fight this dragon.
They do. Strive, Akali ult, Maokai ult thrown out. What can Mark find?
Mark with a big knock-up, but the Blastcone denies it. 4-man grasping roots. Can they find more? Rookie into the backline. Sssum down to the perfect execution. Back out of the play.
And it is exactly what we thought might go wrong. It is the instructions unclear. Group for the Nautilus ult gets splattered apart for it into the Maokai ult. 4-man route from the Maokai. Huge knockup from the Nautilus. Sets up Rookie to get a 3rd kill. The master of the mid lane has come out to a really huge advantage in that play, and as much as the item spike had been hit by that Lucian, they couldn't play around it in that fight. Top Esports pulled trigger too cleanly and too well.
Yeah, this combo of the Nautilus and Maokai, I'm liking it. This is a strong tool set the Top Esports brings to the table. And if you wanted carries to be able to follow up on it, I mean, an Akali and a Draven, it's not too shabby, is it? Never mind a Ksante up in the top side. So RA, they're going to have to figure out how to execute into this combination and how to play around that.
I think it really does have to come from them trying to find an angle first when Tian is not in position to counter in, say, something like a mid lane priority tug of war between the Lucian Nami, because again, that one item spike from Lucian Nami cannot understate how powerful that is. You just got to make sure you can pull it off without a huge counter coming in from that Maokai ultimate in particular. That's what I'm looking for, but we're reaching another point where we're out and they've got a lot to be afraid of. And this is exactly what they need to be afraid of. Tian just messing them up.
Oh no, it's over for Sssum, and this might be the cash-in for JackeyLove. No, Mark! What are you doing? Mark takes the kill. JackeyLove still no cash-in. 100 adoration stacks just sitting there.
Oh, it got really, really close, though. I think that's why he got a little bit spooked. Saw that the health bar falling low. Maybe there's an extra double tap also to come out just at the end of it, but still, extra 100 gold. Not going to be in the pockets of JackeyLove. The snowball not quite there. At least Lucian taken off the board. It's still a positive. But it's not what we've come to expect from Top in the past, of having explosive plays which just open up the map, open up the game. They haven't achieved that cleanly yet.
No, not so far. Very even. I mean, the gold, almost exactly the same. 1 dragon apiece. This is starting up to be a very exciting mid-game, right? And Top Esports, a team that generally do rely on having advantages from the laning phase to snowball. The one thing I will say is there is a big disparity between our 2 mid laners right now. Rookie has 3 kills for himself, 150 CS. That's a 20 CS advantage. Like, he is absolutely huge. QingTian finishing a tower as well will just about push him ahead in gold. And in the meantime, Leyan's been caught out in the jungle. Rookie surely finds the kill. Okay, yeah, does turn it around in the end. The wave comes out, but Sssum is in trouble himself. JackeyLove looks for the kill, but it's Mark to take it again as Rookie gets a second. And out of nowhere, RA are taken apart.
They're absolutely demolished around the mid lane. I think they were looking for that one item spike play around the Lucian Nami. We called that out as their strong point. But the prerequisite to that is that you can't get caught out while they're looking for that. You can't get caught out by something like a Maokai, which of course comes into that mid lane. And of course, it's also a Mark here as well. Again, they're setting up in the mid lane, but they just don't have the ability to finish off the play. Sssum diving in, but top Esports, credit to them, ready and completely able to respond to the play.
I mean, Ssum's going down there is pretty much all damage from Tian. Like, that's a pretty scary amount of damage that the trees bringing to the table. Practically takes out Sssum by himself. And you know, a good attempt onto JackeyLove, but the flash being there, Sssum couldn't quite get the kill, and it means that the play just goes completely sideways. Now, 90 seconds until that Drake comes up. Both teams with one so far. RA would love to be able to contest for that one, but you know, just off of that last play alone, it's a 3,000 gold lead now for top Esports. Starting to feel like they are the ones with a bigger advantage. Hex flash from Mark. Won't find anything.
Yeah, and how quickly the conversation changes from, oh, it's an even game, to, that's a pretty big advantage we're starting to see built up there. Top Esports pulling the trigger. Strive now trying to find something for themselves.
Okay, Tian just gone. I mean, the play is over before it even begins. Tian, obviously no idea that Strive was there. Did not realize that the threat was there. Trying to protect his chickens from Leyan, I believe, but should have been worried about his own health bar.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good window of time to find a pick onto the enemy jungler. Of course, it's during the objective setup. Maokai can't throw saplings down now at this point. This maybe puts Renekton into a position where maybe they can look to contest. I'm still not sure they will. Still going to be the Maokai able to throw his ultimate out in time for that objective, even if the sapling setup won't be there. But Renekton actually know they're heading into that bot side river, feeling bold. It's enough to go towards that point, maybe set up something.
Yeah. Shove out from Rookie in the bottom side, but Strive is there just to clear the wave, so shouldn't be too significant. And the Unleash teleport available now for both Cube and Strive, so they can go for those resets if they need to teleport into the play. Just gonna hold it for the time being though. Strive walking all the way over as Cube still in this top side. And if he has an opportunity to stay on the tower, might be able to do so, but looks like actually RA not going to contest whatsoever. Leyan up on this top side as well.
Yeah. As far as I was aware, in terms of like, you know, like the Maokai not being there for the setup, okay, big factors in there. They managed to get mid priority. I think the big difference maker was Southwind had Imperial Mandate item spike, and as soon as you get that on Nami, you need it. It is such a huge part of the Lucian army culling Gale Force burst combo because that adds so much damage from the item onto it. I think that was the final decision maker for Renekton. Choose not to take that dragon. Now going towards an even bigger point of power. Cube takes that tower. They bide their time, show a little bit of restraint. They're going to have another crack at the next play to come in.
Yeah, the only issue is the tower ultimately gets traded on the other side of the map. So top Esports, they get the Drake and kind of evenly trade in terms of those towers. So it's not the greatest situation for RA. Rookie terrifying right now, but Leyan and Strive want to make a play onto this mid laner. He's 5-0 out of energy, like you say, but has the Shroud to work with. Perfect execution in place. Strive and low, and there's a TP coming on through. He hides behind the cannon. Perfect execution to escape as QingTian now arrives on the play. Leyan on the wrong side of this one. The blast cone, can it save him? Now QingTian's the one alone because Cube has joined the action as well. But that is Ksante in the back of the alcove, and he's happily just sitting there among everyone. The tidal wave comes on through. Leyan gets the kill on QingTian. Rookie with a second Shroud of the fight, buying so much time. Here comes Mark and JackeyLove. The cavalry arrives as the roots across the whole team. There's one for Rookie as JackeyLove starts to chase Tian on the front line, looking for Sssum here if he can close the gap. The flash in, the knockback, and JackeyLove can't find the X's, but there's one. Sssum gets Tian to trade it though.
Still no shutdown. There's no cash in for JackeyLove. He's tried so hard to get involved in these plays, but even though he doesn't get the big money-making kills, Rookie does. He outlasts the attempt onto him in that side lane, even though it was watching the resource tick down. Strive looking at those Qs being put across the wave, seeing if maybe he could resource manage Rookie into a death of himself. They don't shut him down. QingTian lasts such a long time, not popping that ultimate, staying tanky for as long as possible, buys enough time for top Esports to call in reinforcements. And Renekton, just before this, they've shown restraint, they've shown that ability to understand when there was a losing play for them. They don't see it in this situation at top Esports. They punish them for it.
Yeah, I mean, Rookie once again, just the absolute hero of the moment, gets 2 kills for himself. Just like you say, outlasting the play. QingTian TPing in, tanking for a long time, but it's Rookie that grabs the kills in the end. It's Rookie that starts the whole play off in the 2v1 and somehow manages to stay on top. 7-0 on the Akali. Pretty much perfect CS as well, like almost 220 minutes. The man is just a menace in the mid lane, almost on 3 items.
And this is such bad news for Renekton because we talked about it coming out of Champion Select. They want early advantages. They don't want to be in a position where they have to be pinned back in their own jungle, waiting for a Maokai ult to stun up the rest of their team, root them down, because there's no one that really wants to take that on Renekton. Even when you have a Renekton who's a little bit tankier, it's not enough. And top esports, they know they're in that advantage. They know they have the ability to have a Rookie run amok in the backline. Renekton are forced to, they're forced to answer them at the Baron.
Top esports saw the clock. They know it's past 20 minutes, so Baron is started immediately. Nature's Grass comes out, rooting a couple of players, and Baron's gone. It's over. Top esports just waltz on in and take it. We've seen it 1,000 times before, and RA just not ready for it.
And what the hell do you do now as Renekton? That is such a killer blow to this squad. One that has managed to hold on in their series before, hold on in the long games, but top esports, they're not letting the game go long. They're accelerating. They found, you know, it was fairly hard to find them at first, but they managed to find those plays to break open this game through Rookie, through Tian, finding these great ultimates across the team. And Renekton, much like our first series of the day, are in a position where they're going to have to get desperate. They're going to have to look for some mismatched number play between a Nidalee Renekton, between Sylas stealing an ultimate, but it is a uphill battle at best for Renekton.
I really want to see how many stacks JackeyLove is on at this point as well, because it's been a while since he died, and he's not been grabbing any kills, so he's going to have been stacking up for a long time. And not just in terms of the gold, but remember, his ultimate has an execute. That pop-up might say that he has 300 stacks, but I can't read Mandarin. Here we go. Knockups cross team. Rookie's on the back line, and Sssum's already low on HP. Rookie turns golden to buy himself some time. Perfect execution. First proc is take it down. Leyan and Cube shred him to pieces. And now Strive on the top side of the play, and it's 4v4. This could be a chance for RA. They've taken down the strongest member of Top Esports. Drake is spawning, but Top Esports don't want to back away just yet.
To drop back away. They don't have themselves the Maokai ultimate, and they don't have themselves 7 of their 10 kills on the board. Renekton, I think this is your time. I think now's the time to fight.
JackeyLove on the Drake, but now moving over. This will be Drake taken by Top Esports. And that will be soul point for them. QingTian dodges the spear, looking for a little bit more, but won't make his way in just for the time being. Remember, JackeyLove, 300 stacks, has that execute. So RA have to play so carefully. If you get junked, you might just get sniped.
Absolutely worth paying attention to that, but Sssum didn't commit to that play. It felt like it was more of a screening motion for Renekton around that dragon, but I don't know when it gets better than this. You've already taken down the Akali as they've dove too deep. I mean, see Cube, we kind of called this out as well before. If he gets an individual advantage, he will be a threat. He does start getting into a position where he can get that empowered W onto Rookie. Look at the damage that comes through between him and Leyan. It is the Renekton Nidalee finally getting something for this, and the return ultimate of Strive managing to disengage the play after that point too, but I feel like they had to look for more after this point. They're still in a very dangerous position against this Baron. They're still at a point where they're staring down Infernal Soul points. I just wonder if the window's starting to pass for them.
That's the question. And I've been so impressed by what RA are bringing here. Like, they really are going toe-to-toe with Top Esports. The gold's so even, but those dragons, like you say, it's looming, right? If Top Esports get one more Drake with Akali and Draven on the team, like, you gotta believe Infernal Soul would be a win condition in of itself right there. And Top Esports pressuring in the bottom side, looking for a tier 2 to try and bring that gold lead even bigger for themselves. QingTian needs to be a little cautious. I think maybe trying to bait someone, see if someone would step just past him so he can push him through that wall, but doesn't find his opportunity. And the tower will survive.
Yeah, but this is kind of the nature of Renekton that we've come to know. Probably one of our best well-known teams in terms of our team identity from this split, from what they've shown us so far. They're tenacious. They do hold on. They find ways into games which they probably should have been shut out from before. They learned that from their first loss, and they're getting to a point where at least they can look for these angles. The gold is even. It doesn't sadly change the way that these teams interact. You still got to be so scared of that Maokai. You still got to be so scared of the shutdown, the execute potential from JackeyLove, and then of course Rookie running rampant in that backline. But at least they're still looking. One thing I do want to call out quickly as well, just before we head back to more gameplay stuff. Tian has gone for the Night Harvester on the Maokai for a little bit more burst to potentially shut out someone like Sssum or Strive from these fights. Have to track how he can be a bit of an unexpected burst threat as well in some of these.
Yeah. I mean, he nearly one-shot Sssum earlier on and did not have a Night Harvester at that point. Saw the point of RA as well, talking about identity. A lot of people aren't sure whether they should get hyped about this roster. If they can win a game like this, it's time to start believing in RA, I think it's fair to say. Rookie up on the top side, pushing these waves out. And I do feel like Top Esports stalling out a little bit here, but not super surprising because the way that they're going to win this game is that Dragon, is that Baron, both coming up within the next 2 minutes. So even though we've had a little bit of a lull, you can anticipate the pace is going to pick up. So, Nymaera, what is it that RA have to do here over the next 2 minutes to miraculously fight for these objectives?
You have to somehow buy space for someone like Cube to get on top of the Akali, burst them out. They're one of the few champions that really can do that. Also buy space for Sssum. Just hit 3 items on that Lucian, actually ahead in itemization compared to his often opposing number. It's also a more consistent damage build from that Lucian. It's Navori Quick Blades. That means more dashes, more ability damage from that Navori Quick Blades passive. That means that actually, if Top Esports don't cleanly land the play, which in fairness they have done most of the time in this game, but if they let that slip once, maybe Sssum can find that slim angle of attack to burn through some of Top Esports. That's what I'm looking for.
Just maybe. 1,000 gold is the difference as JackeyLove just head back to base, so I imagine he has hit that 3-item mark as well. He was headed towards a rapid-fire cannon, I believe. And we'll see if he's finished that one off. But Baron about to spawn, Dragon up in 50 seconds. I've got a feeling that Baron might be ignored for the time being. I think that Infernal Soul is going to be much more tempting for the side of Top Esports. But Rookie just finished a 3rd item as well. Oh, it feels like this fight is going to be monumental.
Yeah, you can see like the planets coming into alignment. We're in the 2% zone once again. Rare Atom going to have to puzzle their way out of this mid game. They're even enough in gold, they're even enough in itemization. Difficulties in team composition, but Strive has the Maokai ult to fire back against Tian should he choose to pull that trigger. In a better world, in a better scenario for Top Esports, they would have not had those resets. They would have been able to have their itemization and also control the map. But since they did reset for those items, for that Void Staff, for that rapid fire cannon as well, they could have maybe headed towards that Baron, which wasn't on the same timer as that Dragon, but they couldn't quite find that timing. Now they have to sit down in this LPL ARAM fight over this mid lane wave, and Ssum's gone too far!
Oh, he's gone way too deep on this one, Tian. So far into the back line, but taken down. He pressed his W and was taken on a roller coaster, but now Cube pulled back into the play, and somehow 4v5 Top Esports still win out the fight. Leyan pulled back on in and taken to pieces. Top Esports, no matter what, somehow win these fights.
Sssum goes far too deep because even though he lives, he cannot fight after that point. Rookie hadn't entered the fray. He had his ultimate. He was threatening an execution. With the Lucian out of the equation, Top Esports, they're going to earn themselves the fight and earn themselves the Infernal Soul. It's not been as clean a snowball as maybe we could have expected from them. They've not had the cleanest game so far in this year so far, but they are going to get themselves into a commanding position now in this first game of their series versus Rare Atom. Going to look back at this replay and see how this comes across. Bold, shall we say. Bold. And while a good amount of damage comes out, Sssum manages to get away from the depth charge. It doesn't go onto the Lucian. How the hell does Lucian walk up at this point? Rookie tags onto Cube, uses them as a leapfrog to get their ultimate further on, and Sssum cannot be anywhere near that Akali as soon as that R is running, before that perfect execution is on the table. And that was so close to being a 1-kill and out for Rare Atom, but it wasn't nearly close enough to get them the fight victory.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of teams in the world that see their jungler accidentally go too deep like that, be pulled into the enemy team and go, okay, we got picked, we concede the Drake. Top Esports are like, oh, they've engaged for us, let's go. Charge on forwards. Here we go, onto the mid lane tower. QingTian is getting terrifyingly tanky at this point. Rookie over towards the bottom side. Baron on the cards here as top esports, if they can get priority around and get control, certainly could look towards that objective for the second time this game.
Trying to get that control away from top esports will be very difficult when you have such a large amount of gold onto this Akali who can run the side lanes. When you have the Maokai that can litter the map with these saplings around here, with Night Harvest on top of it, with that Abyssal going. We've got the teleports coming in. Prepare for the big fight.
Ksante happily just holding on and blocking the ultimate cube on the front line, but is he tanking it up? Strive there getting low as well.
Oh!
JackeyLove with 2, and it's Rookie with 2 as well. Strive alone in the world. Get to Blasco. No, he doesn't. Ksante trying to follow him in, and Strive's knocked back into the loving arms of JackeyLove. Rookie takes a little sip of his coffee, a well-earned sip, as top esports will take the game.
Like the Reaper in his fields, top esports scythe through Rare Atom, handing them their first loss in 4 games. They fought valiantly, they fought well to find something in the mid game, but it wasn't nearly enough against Rookie on his Akali. 10, 1, and 4, perfectly executing this first game.
Yeah, shout out to Mark as well. 2, 1, and 12 at the end of that one, being a key tool alongside Tian. We talked about the Nautilus Maokai. What a combo. I anticipate we'll see a lot more of that over the weeks in the LPL. But wow, top esports, an explosive mid-game, decisive fights, managing to find the advantage in the end. Fair play to RA. They held on for a very long time, but, you know, Mojo's Mojo at the end of the day.
Mojo's Mojo, and Mojo's ready to roll, because I really like the way that top esports actually gave a lot of respect to Rare Atom in the draft. First bans taking away the Vi, taking away the Jacks, just saying, look, you've had too much success on these. We know that Cube is very good in a 1v1 situation. We're not going to give you the Premier 1v1 top laner. We're not going to give you that. We're not going to give Leyan the ability to have the Premier #1 initiator, which also has the early presence in the Vi. I look at this now and I think that you have to go onto blue side now, I think, as Rare Atom, and try and snap up one of them as a first pick, try and get something there for the 2 players on the top side of the map to have a foothold in this game, because they didn't have nearly enough to bail out what happened on the rest of the map and deal with something like this Akali.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's going to be a tough draft coming up for RA, because you went for the draft where you have that early game strength, right? You went for the draft where you can supposedly win your lanes, which obviously top esports managing to get a lot of counter picks there, and
yeah, that's execution
that
pending.
yeah. Now the question is, like, do RA stick to their guns in this second draft, or do they go, okay, we need to go back to our Varus pick, we need to go back to playing things like the Zeri and try and go for scaling and try and look for that 40-minute win that they have been able to find in other series? I mean, they lost game #1 against LGD and managed to turn it around. Maybe there's space for adaptation here.
No, this wasn't the worst game ever. I think that Rare Atom, they did, considering the nature of this draft, where we're like, look, realistically, you're not going to have ways to deal with Tian's ultimate on that Maokai. You're going to have problems if Akali gets ahead, and Akali did get ahead. Some of those fights which they won, I still feel like that was against the run of play, so there is credit to them for that, and I think we can understand how Rare Atom did reach that 2-0 scoreline. They have managed to come into the year with a pretty fast start, but it's just another level up again against a team like top esports, who are so ruthless when you show them that inch of weakness, much actually in common with the games that we saw earlier today. One mistake against the team, like NIP just got eviscerated by, you sat there, it was like, you might have the same happen to you, Rare Atom.
Yeah, I mean, top